Welcome everyone, my name is Ace of Spades, this is Goblin-Inc. Today, Boulder has been bug fixed twice, well yesterday. So, is the build now finally viable? I've talked a lot on stream about how Boulder couldn't possibly be viable because of Thunderstruck missing from the build, not being a storm skill, and Earth and Devastation only capping at 40%. But there has been a turn-off event, which has made the metamorphic stone aspect, which used to be bugged in the previous season, has been fixed somewhere. Now, finally, we do get the 240% bonus damage that we should have been. Previously, Blizzard had said that the aspect was bug fixed, but it wasn't, as both me and Screamheart and other people have confirmed it, but it is now shadow fixed. Maybe an intern or something didn't want to admit to his mistake, I have no idea if it was on a patch note. But now we're getting a 240% damage bonus, which is quite impressive. So with this, I believe also there's some advantages to Boulder that I might have not considered in the past. First of all, the chance for Boulder projectile to cast twice is higher than Tornado, which is quite interesting. So we're getting an extra percentage with more damage, Boulder to cast twice. On top of that, Boulder damage tempering is higher than damage to close, which is quite good. Also possibly, I have to check the rogue critical strike damage tempering and see if it works with Boulder. If it may be bugged and it's multiplicative, we'll see. There is a lot of bugs going on right now, and people are discovering every day new bugs that makes things multiplicative. I am on the hunt for those things. Where are we with Boulder? Well, I'm gonna release a budget build for you guys today that everyone can play, and you guys can test the build if you want with me. It does have a Shaco, but of course it's not needed. I just assume that at this point most people have a Shaco because 3 sparks are free, but I will of course include in the budget version not to have a Shaco. The budget build is only +4, and yeah, just +4, not GA or 1 GA items, keeping it nice and easy. So where are we with the build? The spirit cost reduction is the first thing I've worked on. Can you play this build without Tybalt's Will? It doesn't seem possible to find a way to generate resources without Tybalt's Will. I've discovered that having the 2 items with spirit cost production, chest and boots wasn't enough for my upkeep. I might have to use spirit cost reduction on both of my rings and then getting like a GA resource cost reduction stuff plus 12 it, and then maybe it would be enough. But Boulder is a very expensive skill, and I do not think I can generate enough resources without the Tybalt's Will. So that's one thing. Second thing is the cooldown of Hurricane. I've figured out a way to not use Symbiotic Aspect and Nature's Fury, which reduces your damage quite a bit. If you want to use Symbiotic Aspect and Nature's Fury to reduce the cooldown of your Hurricane by casting Boulder, you will be losing on very powerful Keystone passive and 1 damage passive. So you'll be losing on 30% damage, possibly 20% HP, and another offensive aspect. The damage loss will be about 60-70%, which is too much. To avoid this, well, the budget build will run this setup, but the more advanced build with more than +4 upgrade, probably like +8, +12, will have no issues having the Hurricane cooldown low enough by using the temperings on your rings plus your Dolmen Stone. The cooldown of Hurricane will be low enough with the skill, passive, and Last Tempest that you'll be able to cast Hurricane without needing Symbiotic. So that issue has been fixed. In terms of defensives, we will have to choose between Shaco and Tyral Smite, and then play a Helm with Spirit Cost with Spirit Generation, or a Chest with Spirit Generation. Either of them are fine. I think I prefer Shaco over Tyral Smite, but they might pretty much be identical in terms of damage reduction. The only thing is that Shaco has already the cooldown reduction on it. It makes reaching the Hurricane breakpoint easier for the build. And also has resource generation on it, which never, it's never bad. The build does quite a bit of damage even with no glyph upgraded, level 80, no gear, no GAs. I've been leveling quite easily. I'll be today doing Nightmare Dungeons, pits later, and finish leveling my level 81 Druid. Let's go over a little bit the aspects of the build and yeah, talk about it a little bit. So for the aspect, of course, we're going to have Metamorphic Stone on the weapon. We're going to have Metamorphosis on the boots to combo with Thibault's Will. And on the gloves, we have the Nature's Fury because I am running Undying on my chest because I believe healing is very powerful this season. Undying is a very undervalued aspect in my opinion. It is possible to run Symbiotic here and run another offensive aspect, but for now I'm not doing that. Of course, Sheko, if you do not run Sheko, can have Symbiotic on the helm, and of course at that point you can run an offensive aspect like Edge Master on the gloves. Or, sorry, well, of course Subterranean being better, that because, you know, 25% damage. 30% cross skill damage, Fortify. Accelerating makes the build feel better when you play it. So I like to run that. It can help with Spirit cost to run Subterranean, and it is more damage, but I find the build to be more fluid with accelerating. And today though we're gonna try with the Subterranean aspect, see how that feels. I'm not running other aspect like Nature's Balance because I do not believe it to be very powerful. We do not cast Hurricane often enough to have a good uptime on Natural Balance. For the Paragon board, we do not have... I cannot show you the Paragon board in game because I have not the glyphs or anything yet. I have not Paragon. But it's not too good of a Paragon board. I mean, I made a good one, obviously. We have Territorial, and we have only 5 glyphs. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we do play Outmatch, which is like the best glyph. It's a physical damage on bosses and trash, but not the least. But that's fine because bosses are the biggest problem for any build. And it's a dexterity base, which is really good. It gives us a fuck ton of max life here. So because we're gonna be able to buff this node, take it twice. It's a 19% HP. That's pretty big. And we have a very decent glyph for the Earth and Devastation board. We can play, of course, Spirit here. It's another good dexterity board. And we have a very good Inner Beast. Inner Beast, take Undaunted. We have an insane fortified generation this build. And we're going to be experimenting with Inner Beast. Because it gives us cooldown reduction on Ultimate, which is not great. With our Boon Calm Before the Storm is a lucky hit chance to proc. And our lucky hit chance isn't great with Boulder. We also get attack speed, super powerful board, extremely efficient to take points here nowadays. And of course we have the Ancestral Guidance with Human. And then lastly, we do take Heightened Malice, which we proc with Poison Creeper. But the thing, as you can see, I do not have Earth and Sky. Currently, I do not really have a plan on how to play with Vulnerability. I will have to test if on the rings the lucky hit chance to proc Vulnerability is worth having. If it procs enough and it lasts enough, it's gonna be a 30% damage increase, which I think is pretty good, and also would work on bosses, which Heightened Malice does not. So, those are the things we'll be testing. I think it has a good potential. But I don't think it would blow out of the water Wind Daddy or Tornado or Landstorm. I think it will be a comparable build again. It's gonna be in those tiers. Unless I can find some bugs. But we'll see how it is. It's definitely a fun build to play. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will hit you guys with the update next time. Have a good time, and see you on stream.